My boyfriend, 27 male, didn't propose to me, 26 female, in the agreed upon time, and I feel like I'm going crazy. My partner didn't propose in time, and I'm considering leaving. It's been over 8 years. 8 years? Sorry. We started dating at 18 in college. I understood that we would have to wait to get engaged because we were so young. However, I feel like that it has been too long. He says we are almost at the finish line, but I keep seeing that line being pushed further and further back. First, we said we would wait until we were financially stable. Then, he wanted to go to law school after 2 years of being out of college. We always said we would be engaged when law school was over, but then the bar exam came and sidetracked that. We recently moved and now we are waiting to see how much our old apartment charges us for damages. My deadline was the day after he graduated. I had already been waiting an extra 3 years because he chose to go to law school. We have enough money in our bank account. I get that he wants to be extremely financially stable, but it's September and I am breaking. Every time I talk to him about it, it gets pushed further back. He says we are 2 months away, but I ran out of patience 4 months ago. It's driving me crazy, and I feel like it has ruined the idea of being engaged for me. I wanted it to be spontaneous and out of love, but I don't think that was ever going to happen. I don't think he's scared of marriage. He offers to marry me at a courthouse all the time. I just think he doesn't care about all of the romantic stuff, and he's just going through the motions for me. I have been pushed 4 months past my breaking point, and I don't know if I have ruined our relationship by pushing the issue. Right now, it's to the point where getting engaged will no longer make me happy. Is it over? Am I just fooling myself? Have I gone mad? I just want to say that I've never given him a deadline. The deadline was for me to leave. It was in my head. I was kind of on your side until you said that he had no problem marrying you at a courthouse. Don't fall for the Western propaganda of spending all your money on an engagement, right? It's not that he doesn't love you, right? He just doesn't love you the way that the media wants people to love you. You know what I mean? Like, don't fall for all that superficial bullshit. My 27 female, soon to be sister in law, 22 female, said something about my 3 month old that made me really uncomfortable. My soon to be sister in law, Helen, was over visiting today. Helen loves our 3 month old and loves being around her. A little info on Helen. She's young, 22, kind of immature, and has terrible anxiety. She babysat our daughter once, and my husband's father was there. I was a little nervous to let Helen do it herself because I haven't known her super long, 1 to 2 years, I think. So it was a good trial run with grandpa there. I totally trust him. Anyways, we were talking about babies crying and how it can really cause your blood pressure to rise and be sensory overload. Well, at one point, Helen said something along the lines of, "She's so precious, but sometimes when she cries, it makes me want to just put a pillow over her face." I was shocked. In the moment, I didn't really know what to say or do, so I just laughed it off. But now I'm completely uncomfortable with Helen ever watching our daughter alone. My husband agrees. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Helen is marrying my husband's brother. Helen currently lives with my husband's sister, Lily. When we were looking for a sitter for the first time, we texted Grandma, Grandpa, and Lily, purposefully leaving Helen out because I wasn't too sure I wanted her to babysit. Lily couldn't babysit, but since her and Helen lived together, Lily asked Helen, and then we felt like it would be rude to say no, and since Grandpa was going to be there, we were okay with it. Now, how do we go about talking to Lily so that we can still have her babysit, but let her know not to ask Helen if she's unavailable? Should we even do that to her or just forego asking either of them? Is that too much to put on Lily? I get that people have intrusive thoughts that cross their minds and that just people sometimes think something they never actually do. But to verbalize it about my child to me just made me really uncomfortable.
My husband and I opened our relationship, and now I think that he prefers our girlfriend. I'm 34 female and my husband 35 male have been together for 14 years. We have a 7 and 3-year-old together. 3 years ago, my husband got, well, I don't want to say bored, but I'm not sure what else to call it. So after a while, mostly begging on his part, I accepted to introduce a third into our marriage. We can call her Harper, 25 female. My husband knew Harper before everything. She's his sister's friend, another awkward story, and it's been 3 years. I love Harper. She's like crazy sweet, the children love her, we do girls trips, split everything 50-50, go shopping, etc. But my husband most definitely prefers Harper. He pushes her to do exercise, to diet, to dress pretty, but she's also the first one that he'll text if he gets good or bad news. She's the first one he'll greet when he gets home. They go on dates once a week, and my husband said it's because Harper insisted and I didn't. I confronted him about this and he said he just feels more intimacy and that she's his best friend. I pointed out that I'm the mother of his children and he used to say that I was his best friend. He said he loves the both of us, but feels this warmth when he thinks of Harper. Harper doesn't leave me out of anything. She's always going out of her way to include me, to spoil the children and make sure everything is equal. I don't know what to do because I love Harper. I just want my husband to need me like he used to. I want to be my husband's favorite. All advice is welcome. Today I messed up by not realizing that my shoulder has been out of place for years. Okay, so a few years ago, I injured my shoulder doing some dumb activity that I don't remember. I thought at the time that I tore my rotator cuff because my shoulder was really hurting and I couldn't move it fully. Anytime I raised my arm, it wouldn't let me go past a certain point without a lot of pain. I didn't use it very much for about a month and tried to heal myself due to not being able to afford going to the doctor. And that actually seemed to help it. The pain went away when I wasn't using it, and I thought that my injury was finally healing. Yay! I started working out and my shoulder pain came back with a vengeance. But I was stubborn. I wasn't gonna let my injury hold me back. I pushed through the pain because I figured that if my shoulder got stronger, the muscles being built up would compensate for the tear, and eventually I wouldn't even notice it there, right? So that's what I did, and it actually worked a lot better than I expected it to. Over time, through working out, I noticed the pain less and less, and it stopped being something that I thought about every time it started hurting. I still had a limited range of motion, but I stopped noticing that as well. I got so used to it that I figured it had healed. I didn't notice the pain when I worked out, even though it was still there. When I got into heavier weights, my shoulder would almost move. It would pop a lot. I just associated that with it being normal due to a previous injury. And then my girlfriend wanted to learn some cool dancing dips. We would practice me flinging her around, dipping her, general dance moves. Well, we weren't fully sober and were just messing around and trying things we hadn't before. Being overly confident with new tricks in our inebriated state and shit. I tried something new and didn't realize I was close to an obstacle. If I had continued, I would have booped her head into it. So to save her the pain, I instinctively moved her out of harm's way at the expense of my balance. I fell hard on my shoulder. Both my hands were on her, and I felt my shoulder dislocate, and then an immediate pop back into place. It hurt way less than I imagined a dislocation to feel, but I wasn't even thinking about the pain. My shoulder had suddenly gotten its full range of motion back. Not only could I move it up and back, a motion previously impossible, but I could do it without any pain or popping. I'm such a dumbass, y'all.
My sister, 30 female, got married yesterday. I, 32 male, was so happy for her and agreed to help her out. She told me that the wedding was child-free, which I understand. So I asked my best friend if there was any way he could watch my son, and he agreed. I arrived at the wedding and found that it was not child-free. There were probably 15 children there. I was confused, but didn't want to make a scene, so I waited until my sister came over to me, and I asked her what the deal was. What she told me broke my heart, and I don't know how I can look at her the same way again. She confessed that my son, 12 male, was excluded because he has an amputated leg. She said that it would draw attention to him at the wedding. I almost lost it. I could understand if he was going to be disruptive or something, but because of that, I didn't trust myself in that moment. So I just walked out and went home. When I got home, my son asked me why I was back so early. So I made up some excuse and then spent the rest of the day having fun with him because it was the only thing keeping me sane. Since then, I've been getting dozens of messages from people saying how me leaving caused my sister to start crying and the whole wedding was ruined. But I honestly don't care right now. I'm a mess. I'm a single dad, so I don't have someone to help me right now. But these messages are actually making me wonder, am I the asshole?
No, absolutely not. That's disgusting behavior. And I'm glad that her wedding was ruined.
Am I the asshole? My boyfriend places sheets on all of the furniture when I'm on my period. Already off to an interesting start here.
Out here.
All right, let's get into it. So my 24F boyfriend, 28 male, is really protective over his furniture. I assume it's because they're all white. This really shows when I'm on my period. My boyfriend does humiliating things like placing sheets on all of the chairs and lounges. Jeez. I feel like if I were to leak, I'd just leak through the sheets anyway, and makes me sleep in the guest bedroom on the first 2 days of my period.
Like a dog.
My heaviest days.
Jesus Christ.
Like a dog.
Jesus.
And then he even asks me about when it was the last time I changed my tampon. I'm a grown woman who has had her period since the age of 12. I don't need somebody to remind me to change a tampon.
She's not a child.
This is already infuriating.
I'm so angry
She's
right
not
now.
a child, but her boyfriend sounds like he's a child, honestly.
He's like
this is ridiculous.
Literally a man-child with control issues.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
Oh, great.
When he does this, I just feel embarrassed, and it gives me the vibe that he cares more about materialistic objects than me. I'm not even allowed to cuddle him during my period. He acts like I'm gushing like a waterfall or something. I started my period yesterday, and as I expected, the sheets come out.
Oh my God.
I decide to put my foot down, and I take off all the sheets from the furniture, which got my boyfriend irritated, to which I told him he needs to stop treating me like a leaking juice box. He's
That's gotta be the best line, leaky juice box.
I know, right? He's saying that I have no right to prevent him from keeping this expensive furniture clean and that I'm the one acting like a jerk.